So here we are, less than 10 days out from the opening ceremony of the Olympics. And I don't know about you, but usually this close to the Olympics, I find myself so excited, almost giddy. Because the Olympics means so much more than just a celebration in sporting excellence. They stand for unity and humanity. Now that essence has been captured in the Beijing Olympic motto of one world, one dream. But unfortunately that motto isn't being realized for many people in China. The fact is, these Olympics have led to human rights abuses being committed directly because of the Olympics, but also when China won the bid for the Olympics in 2001, they promised to improve their human rights records. And here we are, days away from the opening ceremony of the Olympics, still waiting for that to happen. So I find myself torn as an Olympian between, on one hand, being incredibly excited when I found out that China had the Olympics, because I wanted to learn more about the beautiful culture of China and their unique history. And I still am really excited to learn about that. But on the other hand, I cannot separate and ignore the human rights abuses in China being committed on the longer term and also directly in line with the Olympics. So here today we have the opportunity to learn about one of those human rights abuses of internet censorship. So we're going to be hearing from Claire Mallinson, the National Director of Amnesty International, and also Sophie Peer, the China Campaign Coordinator. So please put your hands together and a warm welcome to Claire Mallinson.
The Olympic Games provide China with a unique opportunity for change, a time for goodwill, for dignity and for humanity. And although we will hear Advance Australia Fair played at the Games, it's the Chinese national anthem that will ring out more than any other countries. They will lead the world in gold medals. But sadly, they are not leading the world in defending and protecting human rights. Amnesty International's report, Broken Promises, has monitored development in 4 key areas of human rights abuses. It shows clearly that in the run-up to the Games, China continues to use the death penalty. It continues to use abusive forms of detention, including re-education through labour camps. It's imprisoning, ill-treating and harassing human rights defenders. The censorship of the media and the internet goes on, including banning access to the BBC. And as I speak, Amnesty International's website cannot be viewed in the Olympics Press Centre in Beijing. Our research report shows that the human rights abuses and the crackdown has intensified because of the Olympic Games. Beating peaceful protesters does not uphold Olympic values. Imprisoning peaceful protesters does not uphold Olympic values. Torturing peaceful protesters does not uphold Olympic values. And shooting peaceful protesters does not uphold Olympic values. We are calling on the Chinese government now, before the Games begin, 1, to prevent the police from detaining petitioners and human rights activists as part of the pre-Olympics cleanup. 2, stop being the world leader in executing your people. Publish full national figures on the death penalty and commit to a reduction in the number of capital crimes. 3, allow full access and freedom of reporting and internet access. And Sophie will talk more about this shortly. And 4, release all prisoners of conscience. At Amnesty International, we know that pressure from around the world helps to secure change. We have the results to prove it. So we are calling on world leaders to use their influence. We are calling on the IOC to express their concerns publicly. We are calling on the internet providers and corporate sponsors to stop being complicit. And we call on you and the millions of people like you around the world to stand up for human rights. Join Amnesty International today. Join our global day of protest. Thank you.
I'm going to tell you a little bit about the wall behind you, the giant yellow thing, why we're here and why we're talking about internet repression as a human rights abuse. Not just, oh gee, isn't that annoying, I can't access a video or a download a YouTube clip I want to look at, but the serious human rights effect of online life in China. So that means for bloggers not being able to write freely about what they want to, for people who send emails knowing that that email is being monitored. There are up to 50,000 people employed in China to monitor internet use. That means tracking your email, taking down blogs almost the minute they're put up, shutting down entire websites or parts of websites. We are seeing this increase, not decrease, in the lead up to the Olympic Games. And what the wall behind us represents is that great firewall, or golden shield as it's known. What we want to do is tear that down. Behind every brick in the wall is a card to an internet company. Microsoft, Google, Yahoo, and 2 Chinese providers, Sohu and Baidu, who we believe are all complicit in internet censorship in China. All of them filter their search results. If you go to China, or if you go over to that stall over there and use our internet kiosk, you will see what life online in China is like. If you Google or Yahoo search terms like Tibet, the Dalai Lama, Falun Gong, Christianity, Islam, women's rights, labour rights, environmental pollution, HIV/AIDS, SARS, the list goes on, you will not come up with true results. You will come up with either rerouted search terms back to Chinese propaganda, or you will come up with false results altogether. We are calling on these internet companies to stop this internet censorship, to stop being complicit in their pledge with the Chinese government to do this, and to stop the imprisonment of individuals who are simply using the internet the way it's meant to be, as a tool of communication and information. Our aim is to get 25,000 bricks torn down. We've been all around the country, from Melbourne to Darwin to Townsville to freezing Armidale, down to Launceston to Devonport, over to Bunbury and Perth in the west. And our aim is today and tomorrow to tear down 2,500 bricks here in Sydney and send a very clear message. We are all users of those internet companies. We do not want them to pull out of China. We want them to act responsibly in China. They can do it, they should be doing it, and they're refusing to do it. So we're here to send that clear message to them today. And we thank you all very much. If you haven't already pulled out a brick, it's simple, it's free, it's easy. We post the cards onto those internet companies for you. Your name doesn't go to the Chinese government, you won't be followed, although these are very serious risks for those in China. So that's why we're standing here today, in solidarity for the people in China who are currently imprisoned or who face the risk of imprisonment just for doing what is in their constitution, the right to freedom of expression, and what we know is in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, the right to freedom of expression. So thank you all very much for coming, and please take an action if you haven't already.